Hello and welcome to my channel, your go-to source for the latest in WWE 24. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for all the updates. Let's dive right in.
Triple H may have very subtly confirmed a new faction for Rhea Ripley on SmackDown 2 weeks ago, and we hardly realized until now, but the wheels could potentially be in motion. Rhea Ripley had moved over to SmackDown for her feud against Jade Cargill. But once she became the WWE Women's Champion at WrestleMania 42, it meant that her iconic run on Monday Night Raw had effectively come to an end. The defining period of that was undoubtedly her time with the Judgment Day, although she is now set to write a new chapter. Her split with Io Sky on the April 20th episode of RAW was a confirmation that she would likely be a lone wolf at the top of the SmackDown women's division. But is that really the case? A couple of weeks ago, Rhea Ripley made the effort to take B-Fab and Mitchin out in an act of retribution for what they had done. One of these attacks, to B-Fab, happened right in front of Damian Priest and R-Truth, who were in the midst of a hilarious conversation. Ripley simply said, "One down, one to go," with very little interaction other than that. Damian Priest, who was one half of the Terror Twins with Ripley, just smiled in approval. R-Truth even tweeted, "The Judgment Day is back," and all of this might have been Triple H's way of subtly hinting at a faction for the Eradicator. Damian Priest and R-Truth were one of those impromptu tag teams that ended up becoming the tag team champions by dethroning Solo Sikoa's MFTs. While Ripley and Priest both stated after Bash in Berlin 2024, where they beat Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio, that the Terror Twins were done, it makes a lot of sense for them to have each other's backs now that they are on the same brand. The WWE Universe has learned over the years that when Paul Levesque, better known as Triple H, speaks, even subtly, it's rarely without purpose. As the creative mastermind behind modern WWE storytelling, he has mastered the art of planting seeds long before they bloom into full-blown narratives. And now, fans are buzzing louder than ever after what many believe was a quiet but powerful tease. A brand new faction forming around Rhea Ripley on SmackDown. A subtle hint that sparked loud reactions. It all began with a backstage segment on SmackDown that, at first glance, seemed routine. Triple H addressed the evolving women's division, speaking about dominance, unity, and a shift in power that's coming sooner than people expect. While he never mentioned Ripley directly, the timing and the camera cuts told a different story. Moments later, Rhea Ripley was shown walking backstage, flanked briefly by two rising stars who have recently been without clear direction. The interaction was short, almost dismissible, but in WWE, those are often the most meaningful clues. Fans immediately connected the dots. Could Triple H be orchestrating the rise of a new faction led by one of WWE's most dominant forces? Rhea Ripley. Built for leadership, Rhea Ripley is no stranger to faction success. As a key member of the Judgment Day, she evolved from a rising star into a cornerstone of WWE programming. Her presence brought legitimacy, intensity, and a unique edge that made the group feel unstoppable at times. But things have changed. Recent tensions, cryptic promos, and shifting alliances have hinted that Ripley may be moving beyond her Judgment Day roots. Whether by choice or betrayal, the writing appears to be on the wall. Ripley is ready to lead, not follow. And if Triple H's tease shift in power is any indication, that leadership role could be coming sooner rather than later. Who could join the new faction? One of the most exciting aspects of this potential storyline is the mystery surrounding who might align with Ripley. WWE's women's division is stacked with talent, many of whom are in need of direction or a fresh push. Names already circulating among fans include Zoe Stark. Known for her athleticism and no-nonsense attitude, Stark would fit perfectly into a dominant faction. Shayna Baszler. A legitimate fighter with a ruthless streak, Baszler could serve as Ripley's enforcer. Alba Fire. Bringing a darker, almost mystical energy, Fire could add depth and unpredictability. The idea of Ripley leading a group of fierce, battle-tested competitors aligns perfectly with Triple H's storytelling philosophy. Strong characters, layered dynamics, and long-term payoff. Why SmackDown needs this? SmackDown has undergone several changes in recent months, with shifting rosters and evolving rivalries. While the men's division has seen explosive faction warfare, the women's division has often lacked that same level of cohesive storytelling. A Ripley-led faction could change that instantly. It would create multiple storyline opportunities across the roster, new rivalries and alliances, a central narrative that keeps fans invested week after week. More importantly, it would elevate not just Ripley, but everyone involved. WWE factions have historically been star-making vehicles, and this could be the next great example. Triple H's long-term vision. What makes this situation even more intriguing is Triple H's track record. Since taking over creative control, he has emphasized continuity, character development, and layered storytelling. We've seen him revive factions, build new stars, and reward patient viewers who pay attention to subtle details. This potential Ripley faction feels like another piece of that larger puzzle. Rather than rushing into a reveal, Triple H appears to be letting the story breathe, dropping hints, building intrigue, and allowing fan speculation to grow organically. And it's working. A power shift in the women's division? If this faction does come to life, it could mark a major turning point in WWE's women's division. For years, the spotlight has often been on individual rivalries. While those can be compelling, factions introduce a different kind of storytelling, one that's unpredictable, chaotic, and deeply engaging. Imagine a dominant group led by Rhea Ripley going head-to-head with the top babyfaces of SmackDown. The possibilities are endless. Multi-woman tag matches, long-term feuds with championship implications, internal power struggles within the faction itself, and knowing Triple H, none of it would be one-dimensional. The fans are already invested. Perhaps the clearest sign that something big is coming is the fan reaction. Social media has been flooded with theories, fantasy bookings, and excitement over the possibility of Ripley leading her own faction. Some fans believe this could surpass even the Judgment Day in terms of impact. Others see it as the natural evolution of Ripley's character, a transition from dominant member to undisputed leader. Either way, the anticipation is undeniable. What happens next? WWE thrives on momentum, and right now, this potential storyline has plenty of it. The next few episodes of SmackDown could provide more clues, or even the official reveal fans are waiting for. Will Ripley break away completely from her past alliances? Will new members step forward to stand beside her? Or will Triple H swerve everyone and take the story in an unexpected direction? With WWE, anything is possible, but one thing feels increasingly certain. Something big is brewing. Final thoughts. Triple H may not have said it outright, but in WWE, actions and subtle hints often speak louder than words. The idea of Rhea Ripley leading a new faction on SmackDown isn't just exciting. It feels inevitable. If this is indeed the direction WWE is heading, fans could be witnessing the birth of the next dominant force in sports entertainment. And if history has taught us anything, it's this. When Triple H plays the long game, the payoff is almost always worth the wait.